Little bro, listen, man. I came to your podcast. I came for free, homie, no charge. I did it on Face, homie. I didn't ask you what your analytics was and this and that. I came on Face, homie, to show love. And don't make it like I walked off on you. I left early. Rose had some other things to do too. But guess what? I came for free. I wasted that nice Gucci jacket on that look, man. I couldn't even really wear my Gucci jacket again. But I did it for love. And next time I come for free, at least have me some lemon pepper wings. Stop at that. You heard me? But I came for free. I ain't charging you. You feel me? Don't talk about Rose other business. I came and did that for free. And what is the analytics? How the show doing anyway, man? I'll come back on it, and I'm going to walk off that the next time in this.
Rouse, big homie. First of all, you know it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Rouse. You ain't the nigga. Boosie did it for free. T.I. do it for free. Busta Rhymes did it for free. Snoop Dogg did it for free. Everybody who sat on that couch do it for free. Now, that wasn't the biggest moment. Now, that's one of the viral moments, but Boosie episode 8 million. Got Country Wayne like 6-7 million. Like, we do numbers, we do analytics. Our analytics, we was the biggest before you came, and we was the biggest afterwards. So you always got room to come back to be on the biggest podcast in the world, correct? You dig what I'm saying? But when you call a spade, it get hot. And where you gotta go to cool off? I'm going to talk to my little homie DC in the pool because it's hot. I got to get in the pool because it's too hot outside. And August 2nd, y'all make sure y'all go to his pool party because I'm not going to be there. But you said I was going to be there, Ross. But that's false advertising. I didn't say give me a check. But get the free promo because we family. Push up to his pool party. Y'all push up because I'm going to be in Philadelphia telling these jokes. But everybody can get some money. Push up to the pool party. But Ross, don't do that. And the jacket, you wore the jacket for no reason. Well, let me buy that motherfucking Gucci jacket up off you then. So I can tell my son, I bought this from a who left. He said that he wore it for no reason. It was a waste. So since we didn't pay you, I'm going to pay you for the Gucci jacket. Because if I give you some money, I'm going to want something. Give me that jacket. Since you want some money. But you know we love you. Push up. And you said something about the wings. Make sure we had the wings. If your ass would have stayed, you would have knew we had 200 of them goddamn Wingstop. They was in the back. You remember when you went to the back, the bathroom, you just left? It was 200 Wingstop wing. As a matter of fact, lemon pepper. We knew you were gonna with it, but you didn't eat it. And we respect niggas got to do, bro. Just tell us as soon as you come in, hey, little homies, I got an hour. Bet we gonna try to get you in. Man, we gonna try to get you in about 45 minutes so you can make it to your next destination. Don't pull up, act like you doing us a favor, and then just leave up without saying something. Just say something so we can know what's going on, gang. We ain't tripping, but push back up. Your team, we called your team. We called the person who we called when you was on the way. Guess what they said? We don't know where he going. So Rouse, get at the pool and give me a call so we can so we can get it together. I love you, big homie. We out. Every day I'm hustling.
If you missed the conversation, DC Young Fly in the 85 South Show were recent guests on the Rory and Mal podcast, and Mal asked DC and company, yo, how did y'all feel about that Rick Ross interview? Rick Ross infamously walked out right in the middle of the 85 South Show as he was a guest on the podcast and never came back and apparently went to do other business dealings. DC said, actually, I do kind of still feel a way about that. I'm summarizing. He was like, yo, we showed a lot of love to Ross. because we rock with Ross and what he stands for as one of the best down south lyricists, what he does for his people, how pro-black he is as a businessman. For him to walk out on our podcast mid-episode and not just let us know, yo, I got some other business dealings. DC admitted that he kind of felt disrespected by that whole ordeal. And apparently DC found out that Ross had did another podcast with somebody that doesn't look like DC Young Fly or the 85 South Show. And according to them, Ross was on his best behavior. He sat the entire way, no bathroom breaks. He didn't leave early. Rick Ross responded to DC by saying, yo, bruh, you don't know what kind of business dealings I got going on behind the scenes. So for you to come at me over a podcast appearance that I did with you guys for free, right? Your numbers still spiked through the roof because I decided to walk out and never come back. It went viral. The numbers were numbering. The analytics were analyticing, right? So Ross is like, y'all got what y'all needed from me in that whole exchange, and y'all shouldn't be mad because I did it for free. Which gets me to my last takeaway from DC Young Fly and Rick Ross's exchange. Neither one of these brothers are wrong. I do personally believe Rose is a little more right if I had to side one way or the other, because at the end of the day, Ross still showed love to the 85 South Show, even if it was shorter than they expected. It was a free appearance, and you don't know what other business dealings that man had going on with other podcasts at the time. He still showed up for you guys. He can be annoying in dealing with celebrities and their schedules sometimes. And then also DC Young Fly and Carlos Miller and Chico Bean, they're also celebrities in their own right. But then you see a bigger celebrity, which Ross is, and the little boy games do happen at the celebrity level. Somebody could be late. You know, I've had the pleasure of interviewing DC Young Fly and Rick Ross both multiple times over. I ain't never pay either one of them brothers. Y'all already know I got some cold classics with Rick Ross and the time he's given me. So it's all love with both of those dudes. But Vladtv has set a very dangerous precedent. And I've talked about it before, and I'll tell you guys again. You know, Vlad has been in the game a long time, and he changed his business model a few years ago. And I think it was one of the biggest changes to happen in hip hop media. Vlad started paying guests to appear on his show. So if you're Boosie, if you're anybody with some type of following, any type of notoriety that can command big viewership for Vlad and his ad rates and all the business dealings that he's got going, he will pay you some money to be a guest. And it's problematic for the entire hip hop media industry because this thing has longly went on the backs of, you need my platform to promote. But what happens when there's so many platforms and certain platforms got more money than others, and now platforms are willing to pay because the money and content can be so good when you're at the top? Which is why I said it then and I'll say it now. What Vlad did was dangerous, but I gotta give him a lot of credit. It was a smart danger, and he can afford it. Most outlets, we cannot afford that, which is the conundrum. And do you charge for an appearance of a podcast or not? It is your words, and in theory, you're giving a podcast more words than you would be a verse. If you're an artist that can knock out a verse in an hour, if you do a 2-hour podcast, hell, you may be giving a podcast more time than you do a verse. Just depends on the artist. This is dangerous stuff that we're bumping into in the music business, in the entertainment business, in the podcast media business. And that's why I think this last point, and this is going to shock a lot of people, but I do believe this. You know, Complex does their media power players list every year. And in my humble opinion, DJ Vlad should be number one on that list this year because of the work that he's did with Vladtv. I haven't loved Vlad over the years and his platform over the years, but I'll give credit unbiasedly when it's due. Vlad, over the last calendar year, has interviewed every single guest that I wanted to hear from. He has ran an immaculate business. You know, every time during that Diddy case, a lot of the Dirt case, a couple different cases we've had in hip hop media, Young Thug's case, every time something happened, Vlad either had the person that I wanted to hear from or somebody as close as possible to the person that I wanted to hear from surrounding these cases immediately on his platform. Sometimes while trials were still going on, we heard from attorneys, we heard from guys that were literally a part of Rico's going and giving Vlad the exclusive. And to get back to the biggest point, a lot of that was because he was paying some of these guys for their time and their services. If that list doesn't have Vlad number one, and optically they may not have him number one because it may look a way to have a Jewish man atop the hip-hop power complex media personalities list, I get that. But the reality is he should be it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the year he's had. Sean Cotton should be somewhere in the top 5 with what he did earlier in the year with Say Cheese TV. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts, man. I think Ross and DC are having a great conversation. It is the convo of should media personalities, should these people be paying for podcasts, and the other way around. Like, I want to show love to the hip hop podcast, the media podcast that got some pull, right? Should they be charging guests? What happens when the 85 South show is a bigger deal than where Rick Ross is at in 2025, 2026? Should Ross have to pay to be a guest on these podcasts? Like, where are we going with media? There's so much money in this when you get it right. People got whole staffs for this stuff right now. People got to find ways to make their money. Everybody trying to find ways to make their money and survive in the times that we're in.